All righty. Hello and welcome to the Mapping Your Marketing podcast. My name is Greg Osborne. I'm the host of the podcast, and we are just so happy and glad to have you with us. This podcast is it's all about helping businesses. You could be a brick and mortar, you could be an online store, it could be franchise, you could be a coach, a speaker, anyone that's trying to spread the word about their business. We invite people to come on, share your story about your products, your services, more specifically, the features, benefits, and the transformations of your customers. And speaking of transformations today, we are really lucky to have Mr. Evan Mestman. And in full disclosure and transparency up front, he is a coach. He's he's been working with me, and as a testimonial, like my mindset's better. I've dropped like 50 pounds with this guy. I love what he does, and you'll hear about it a little bit. Like in his background, right? Like he's a health, wellness, and mindset coach. Was very very well rounded. And he works with business leaders who thrive at taking care of everything except themselves. And I feel like I fit into that a little bit, and he's got these great, unique, and simple ways to lose weight while becoming best friends with themselves. And the quickest way to see results is by quieting the inner critic and introducing themselves to their best friend. Now, he's got a long bio here because he's very well trained. He's got degrees. He's a registered dietitian. He's an adjunct professor in nutrition and disease and performance for a decade and more. So, besides all that, let's go ahead and welcome Evan to the show today. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I'm grateful to be here. Thanks so much for that great introduction. You made me sound great. Like, who is this guy?
Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy's awesome. We gotta spread the word and get it out there. And we're always living with truth and transparency, right? You've helped me. I know you've helped many others, and so we're just happy to get this on, bring value to the audience, introduce you to them. They'll probably get
Hmm.
something out of today if I have an idea of that. The way you lead with value, we'll have something at the end for the people that stick around to the end. So um, let's dig in, man. Again, thanks for
Sure.
showing up, and let's talk about. So Evan Investment is with ProAttitudes. You probably see on the screen. You're going to see a bunch of stuff and links that are going to be on the bottom or the side, or accompanying this video. The podcast is gonna be released a bunch of different places over time. So let's go, like real foundational. Like, who is ProAttitudes coaching for?
I designed this business for people like myself. I was my first client, but that was when I was a kid. But I spent 20 years in corporate America and I saw how leaders really they don't take really good care of themselves. So I designed this for specifically business owners and business leaders who are struggling as they climb that ladder to success and they left their health behind.
Ooh,
I think that's a very specific niche. Now, I do that because there's a huge need for it, right? There's over 70% of Americans are either overweight or obese. That's a scary number. And you've got nearly 51% of Americans who are either diabetic or have prediabetes. And half of the ones that have diabetes don't even know it. So there's a huge market out there that will benefit because what are they doing right now? They're dieting, they're on and off exercise programs. They're struggling every week focusing on I'm going to do this. I'm going to start on Monday and I'm, on a diet. I'm going to do that crazy exercise program. Before you know it, though, they're fighting with that inner critic and the inner critic wins and they just finished a pint of ice cream. So why is that happening? It's constantly over and over again. Those are the people I'm looking for so I can help them because you don't have to live that way.
that is true, man. And I hear a little bit of myself in there. And like I said, these numbers are staggering. These are three quarters, of the public, over half of the
Almost.
public,
Yeah. Yeah.
in those. And so, and it's easy. And I got to say again, personally, like I always had an idea, but I never got it done until I got a coach and I engaged somebody, right? So let's dig in a little bit deeper. Like, um, Like, what are some of the biggest issues specifically that the clients, they'll come to you with?
They have the biggest issue they have is they're overwhelmed. They know what the problems are. They typically will tell me, I've lost this weight 100 times. I can lose the weight. I can't keep it off. Or they're struggling with their energy. They just don't have the energy they had 20, 30 years ago. And they've got extra cups of coffee. They're taking those Red Bulls.
Ooh.
They're crashing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or taking a nap, which doesn't necessarily work so well for CEOs and business leaders. Or worse, they're afraid to go to the doctor because they're afraid of the report card they're going to get. And that, to me, those are the people that really benefit coming to me, because I don't make this this crazy program. It's about learning and understanding what you need to do, but doing it one choice at a time. It's having a new attitude. Part of the problem today is we keep repeating the same thing that we done yesterday, the day before, the day before. It's like what I call blind imitation of the past. And part of what I want to do with people is to take a deeper dive and define a deeper meaning so that they can become more intentional in everything they do. I call it intentional health, intentional wellness, intentional eating. And amazing things start to happen when you suddenly open your eyes and start becoming aware, and then creating a focus, which is an intention to make things happen. And that's
Ooh,
really
ooh.
part of how my program works.
I love that intentional part of my vocabulary now. And I'll share, specifically on the diet side of the world, like cheating. It's like that's not in the vocabulary. What's in the vocabulary is like an intentional, small choice, to have
Mhm.
something that would be like a cheat in other diets. And it just, for me, and I think it works foundationally, is that like it just gets your mind right. It's like I'm not doing something crazy. It's not a cheat. I'm picking to do this intentionally.
Mm.
And I might even have that balance with, okay, that means I'm going to fast a couple extra hours, on the next in the morning, right?
You're holding yourself accountable instead of
Yeah.
giving yourself permission to say, just this once I will. You're actually giving yourself permission to say, just this once I won't.
Ooh.
Just a shift. It's a mind shift and a reframe. And that's what I call, it's cognitive restructuring. It's a big part of my program, but we need to take the belief systems that people have, and the belief systems are flawed, but they're based on life experience. And sometimes life experience comes along and you create these belief systems to protect yourself so that you could survive, because it's all about passing on our DNA to our progeny, right? So it's the basic human need is to recreate, so or procreate. So but that creates a lot of problems along the way. So we create these belief systems that will set us up for failure. And what I do is I just reprogram those belief systems for you.
I like that. It might be lockstep with my my next question for you, talking about like the challenges you help them solve, right? Because it sounds like that's one of the tools that you use against a challenge that a client has. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, what happens is that people will come to me overwhelmed, right? And they have all these challenges that they want to solve, but they'll say, "What kind of diet can you put me on?" They want to do the same thing, right? So the challenge that I have is to slow down so that we can create some momentum, to speed up. You're slowing down to speed up. So the first step is awareness. The challenge that I have is getting people to stop and just become a fly on the wall. They're like, "Well, where's the diet? Where's what? I have to do this crazy exercise plan." No, I got to take some supplements. I got to take some pills, right? I need to cut out these foods. No, I'm a dietitian. I have a master's in clinical nutrition, and I've been studying this for 30 some years. So and I don't do anything that I don't practice myself. So I don't give this to people just out of okay, here's a supplement. I think behavior has to come first. And in order to change behavior, you have to first be a fly on the wall. You have to look and say, well, what do we need to change? And I start that with awareness. There's a great little, and I'm going to offer it to everybody who's watching this. It's a lifestyle challenge assessment that they can take, and it doesn't take more than 10 minutes, and it will pinpoint exactly where their problems are in 6 key areas of their life. Things like stress, energy, their eating habits, their inner outer connection, their relationships, and even their overall wellness. So it's a great little tool. I normally charge, it's part of my program, but I'm offering it through the link at the end where it says follow. There's a link and you'll find it. You just
Oh,
click
what a
it.
blessing, man. Thank you. Look at look at there. They showed up today.
There you go. And
uh,
then they can always jump on a complimentary call with me to review it. That's one of the other things that I do. It's not a charge. I really just want to help people. That's really what it's about. I do this because I struggled when I was a kid, and I had to look in the mirror and swallow that bitter pill and say, nobody's going to do this for me. I had to do it myself. And I started one habit at a time because it's about habits, not diets. The
I love
choices
that.
we make,
I
right?
love the habits, man, because you kind of, wait, there's a couple points that you made me think of there, like, how do you improve? You can't improve what you don't measure. So it's nice to have like that assessment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which you can probably take and hopefully maybe see some a growth arc, right? And then,
Absolutely. And then, I have, these are some things that I use. I use a commitment log that I've created for my clients so that they can write down what they're actually doing and what they celebrate. So we write down what they're doing for the week, and then over here, what they're celebrating. And this is another way to create accountability. It's very,
oh,
very important to set
perfect.
goals and keep them, but they have to be internally motivated.
You're reading the script, buddy. Because the next one is, what kind of results do they see? And
Well,
I'll
you can talk. Tell me, did you expect to lose the weight you lost?
well, it was I expected it. I didn't expect it to be. Um, I don't. It wasn't easy. I had to do the work per se, but it was in those habits, right? And then, and it's not only the the weight, because like you talk about, it's health when that's part of the health, right? But it's also like, building in the exercise and building in the disciplines and overall wellness. And like you're a mindset coach too. So it's really synergistic, right? For the mind to work optimally, the body needs to be working optimally. So these kind of feed on themselves. So that's some of mine, but speak more a little bit about, some of the results that your client base sees.
Sure. Part of what I do is I help people create new neural pathways. So when you think about doing the same thing over and over again, that's a neural pathway. It's a habit. It's automatic in your head. Maybe it's a self-defeating habit. My job is to create new neural pathways. And when people start to practice those habits day in, day out, ordinary things, week in, week out, month in, month out, that consistency leads to capability, right? They need the courage, though, to say, I'm not going to give in to my compulsions. And once they have the capability, they feel more confident and they make more commitment. And that is a wonderful kind of snowball effect that leads to changes. In the beginning, it's very, very small because in order to trick the brain, and in order to kind of mind hack the brain, we have to make the habits so tiny that motivation is completely bypassed. I don't use motivation because motivation is fickle. Now, motivation is great when it works. But when you wake up in the morning, I can't tell you how many times I've woken up in the morning myself and said, I don't want to exercise. I could have hit the snooze button. That's not what we're talking about. That's motivation, and that wanes. But what is it that you reach deep down into? Commitment. Commitment is connected to your why. So it doesn't matter whether you're motivated or not. You're going to get up and do it because you love the result that it's bringing. And that's what I connect you to. I connect you to your why. And my
Yeah.
clients, I have one client who came to me and she wanted to get in a dress for her daughter's wedding. A couple of weeks after we started working together, she said, by the way, I happen to have diabetes. And I went to the doctor and her blood sugars were in the 400s. For anybody who has diabetes, that's like ready to go to the hospital. Her A1C, which is a 3-month report card, was 14.1, which is
14.
way, like, that's just astronomically high. What we did is we started working together. Now her A1Cs are below 6. She's lost over 50 pounds. She fit into that dress for her daughter, but now her second daughter got engaged and she has a new dress with new goals and even more weight. And she wants to get off, she wants to lose more weight, but she's lost over 50. Now it's another 35 pounds we're going. And she works out 5-6 times a week. She looks amazing. But the more importantly, she's changed her relationship with herself, with her husband, with food, and with diabetes. She's not
That's a
afraid
stack
anymore.
of results right
Yeah.
there. That is tremendous. I love that, man. Like, we could go all afternoon, um, but we don't have the time.
No.
We're gonna keep this a little. We want to keep it in a shorter window so people can get it digestible, get some great ideas, and get on with the rest of our busy days. Now that said, we're not going to leave them without any more ways to learn about you. And if I know you, Mr. Evan, you probably have something of value to give away.
Well, I want to help as many people as I can. So I created this training that's literally 10 minutes long to get you in the right mindset. And it's something what I call escaping the diet trap so you can get off yo-yo dieting for good. And I'm offering that at no charge to anybody watching today. There's a link that I think I gave you. You're going to put that in there.
Absolutely, it'll be up, down,
Great.
sideways, depending where we post it. Right.
And anybody who wants, you can take a look. I wrote a book called The Habits of Healthy Eating, and this you can get on Amazon. So there
That's
should
a
be
good
links
one. I
for that
got that
too.
one. I got
Excellent.
that one. Well, that is pretty great, and I know you have other ways. I mean, you're all over social media and
You can follow me on
omni-channel, as we talk
all my
about.
channels are on the follow. If you click it, it's my link tree. So you'll see all the channels. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, in LinkedIn. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and you'll get a daily dose of me because I write every day. And then bottom line to me is I'm trying to reach as many people as I can to help these business professionals, owners, leaders get back to living a life they've always dreamed of, so that their eating, their exercise habits, they don't have to leave them behind on the ladder to success.
Oh, what a good bow on that one. That's great. Thank you so much. What a great show, people. Thanks for joining us. We love our guests. We'd love
Thanks
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
Yeah. We love to have some of the viewers as a guest. If you'd like to join us or tell your story, feature your business, you can simply visit g2podcast.com, fill out an application, and start the process. And then now it's not only been on the show, but there's associated promotions and videos and marketing, right? And you'll see some of this out here. Like, I'll be sharing it. Mr. Evan will be sharing it. So thanks for joining us. Have a great day, y'all.